Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Bilal and that's my story.
I couldn't find happiness in anything. I started reviewing all the places I was searching, like money, jewelry and women. Look at the lifestyle we was living. Now I find satisfaction in the simple things. Look at the inner peace that religion brings. Like just knowing your purpose in life. Like knowing the angel of death could take your soul tonight. Like the possibility of you getting to paradise. You know, knowing you can get there if you're living right.
Okay, pretty much usual life. You know, I had a nice youth. You know, I was playing around. I was very happy child. I come from Italy, from a place called Montegranaro, which is a village.
Village, yeah?
Yeah,
Small,
it's
big
about
village.
it's about 13,000 people.
Oh, so it's pretty small.
It's not big at all, but it's not really small.
Okay.
But still, everyone knows each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of the place. If you hear something going on, everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Nothing, just common life. Obviously, there's nothing going on there. There's not much going on.
Not a lot of activities going on in your village.
No. Basically, I was into the church stuff. You know, when I was young, I used to help the priest when there was the function. You know, I like to do that kind of stuff.
Who introduced you to that type of stuff? Your family or?
Well, it's a local thing. You know, everyone goes to the church, so you know, I kind of feel like helpful doing that. You know.
So it was like a community type
and
of thing.
that's the belief. Yeah, remember my mom? She used to ask the priest to come before we sleep to read the prayers for us and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I was a bit naughty, you know.
Okay.
So that was the beginning of it. That's why I had my knowledge of Christianity, and you used to go to the education, etc., etc. Then once I start to go towards the teenagers time, that's when you start to change friends. I start to have my first moped, you know, so you start to move far from your house, and I start to meet some vices. Therefore, you start to try the first cigarettes, and then you start to drink alcohol, and then from 14, 15, 16, since I started the high school, which for us start 14 years old, up to 19.
It's different to here because
It's
here
different
we start from
school
like 11 to
system. You
12.
go primary, the first 5 years, from the age of 6, basically up to 11, 12. Then you move to secondary school, which is only 3 years, and then you're gonna choose your high school. So
Okay.
from 14 till 19.
Okay.
And that's when you know, it was in another town, so it was more far from the being controlled, you know. And you know, I start to, you know,
Started
do
to
some
change.
bad stuff. Yeah.
How did your family take? Because obviously you said when you were younger, you were
I
always
was
in the church.
I was already naughty, so you know, they were very harsh on me. Till one day I remember that my dad attended a meeting in a school. It was for parents, and then I think in that meeting they spoke about how to educate your child, and you know, not to beat him, and you know, to use more wisdom rather than just beating your child. And then that's when I noticed they stopped. I stopped get physical punishment basically, and they start to be more easy on me. But I don't know if it was good, because then I became worse basically, because they didn't have much control on me. So I used to not listen to them, being very rude to them. And this was my life until I had my education.
What your education?
I
What were you
study
studying?
I study as a geometry
Geometry, mashallah.
geometry school. When I reached 19 years old, I was in the final exam, and I just gave up.
Why? What made you give up?
Because basically it was kind of a disaster, meaning that the year I didn't attend much school. I knew that I couldn't make it, couldn't succeed the exam, so I was stressed out. I said, you know what, you just...
Did you used to
Yeah.
enjoy what you were studying?
Not really, not anymore.
Why? What
Because
made
you
change?
choose, when you choose the school so young, then it ends up not being the thing that you like really. You see, because the only reason I choose the school because I was good in technical drawing.
Okay.
You know, that's the only reason. But then you start to find, you know, economical matters and, you know, maths and engineering matters, you know, not all of the stuff I liked. And I didn't like my teachers. You know, I found them I was about, you know, a rebel kind of student. So I didn't like the system. I didn't like their type of teachers, which I find them being hypocrite and this and that. So all of that made me hate the environment. So I didn't really care.
And was this still in the same village that you were in, or did you move out of that village this time?
I still was living with my parents, but the school was in another village, about 15 kilometers.
Okay.
So still within the area. But that time I was I start to drink. I was drinking heavily, you know, because there's nothing going on. You know, I probably met the wrong people during my youth. So you know, I used to hang around with people which they were always older than me.
So obviously they were, by default, they were doing different things to you.
Yeah, and then I just used to follow them. But as a feeling, I was feeling good with them. I didn't feel comfortable with people of the same age as mine. So that's why. And well, that cost me a lot of good things which I could done in the past, which I just burned out like that. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And that was it. After that situation, I went to work.
Where were you working?
And as my town is famous for shoemaking, I went in a factory.
Making shoes, making shoes?
Making shoes.
So you're good at making shoes, yeah?
That's still my occupation. I mean, I'm a shoe repairer at the moment. But yeah, back that time I was just factory. So you may end up having your shift 8 hours and you do the same stuff, the same job again and again for 8 hours. It's quite, you know, hard. When I start to work, you know, you see the first money coming in. You're still living under the roof of your family, so you don't have to pay the rent, you don't have to worry about it. And I just enjoy myself. I just earn money and spend money. Yeah, that was for about 4 or 5 years. And in the same time, I always liked music.
Were you heavily involved in music?
So I was involved in music. I started with the drum kit when I was a teenager. Then one of my friends in the high school, he had a djembe, you know? Djembe?
Drums?
It's a West African drum. It's a hand drum.
Yeah.
So I put the sticks aside and I start to love the hand drums because the sound was warmer and I liked it more. Then when I started slowly, I started to attend a few courses of African drumming, which was difficult for me because I have to travel to Rome or to city far away from me because just for attend a class. Obviously the teachers, they don't come to my area because there's nothing there. And that's how I start. Till I found my master, which he lived near Bologna, and I used to make effort every week and take my drum and go there and spend time with him, trying to learn something more. And that was my really love, my passion. So I didn't care much about work or studying or career or nothing.
So you were just doing that full time?
I just love my music, yeah. That was my hobby, but also the first love of what I love to do. Till when I was 25, I planned a trip in Guinea, Conakry.
Guinea, Africa, yeah?
Yeah, West Africa. And that trip didn't work. So that trip was, I was looking into it because it was my first time. I've been studying the culture and the music for
a long time, so you wanted to go and visit.
That's the first time I'm going to go there. I was so excited and, you know, I'm going with my master, he's going back home. But what happened? Within less than a month time, it happened the president of the country died. There was a coup. So the military took over. The country was unstable. it was dangerous to
For
go
a
there.
long time, isn't it?
Yeah, the week before I had to go, I had a high fever like I never had in my life. A fever higher than 40 degrees, very, very high fever, probably due to the amount of vaccine I did before. I don't know why, but I had such a high fever. So, and also the factory that I quit, they didn't pay me my bonuses and the stuff.
Didn't pay you your money?
No, they tried to play smart, saying, trying to delay. So therefore, all this reason together made it impossible. I had to cancel it. I cancelled it, and then I stuck. I didn't have a job. That was January, beginning of January. And then 2009. And then, you know, I was just, you know, trying find some job, some here and there, which was very hard because the time there was a recession time.
Yeah.
So the whole factory started to close down. To find the job, it was very hard. In the same time, my sister, she was in London. She's younger than me. She's 4 years younger than me, and she was here for an experience. You know, when you are young, you want to go
Travel and
abroad,
see
you want to
different
learn
stuff.
English, you want to see another country, etc. And when she came in holiday in the summer, she said to me, "Why don't you come to London?" Myself, I said, "No way, man. I'm coming there to see what, to freeze myself. It's too cold." And
Yeah.
you know. And then I was thinking, and then I said to myself, "Why not? Why shall I be negative? Why in the end? Why am I gonna lose? I'm gonna go there a couple of months,
See what it's
see
like.
what's what. Try and, you know, it's not bad as I didn't travel much in my life." I said, "Okay, let's go." I made the ticket. I had kind of a £90 money in the pocket, no more than that. And I was in the first month I was sleeping in her room. Basically, I was on the floor. That's the beginning. So in the first week I was kind of panicking. You know, you are in London, in a massive city. You know, just you know, I see one junction, and then 5 minutes ago I lost myself. I don't know where I am. You know, kind of. It's a
And
jungle.
it's fast. It's very fast in London.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. The impact was, I kind of had, I started to go a bit funny, like I didn't want to go out of the house because I may get lost or maybe, you know. That was the beginning. But after a week I realized, okay, I start to enjoy the fact that, you know, you make effort, you start to speak another language. I found a job. I found a job as a restaurant, as a kumi waiter in an Italian restaurant after a week. With no experience.
That's quick.
I never done it. I told him, "Look, I never done this job." So he said, "Okay, come tomorrow, 8 o'clock." And I just put myself. That's how I started it. So once you get into it, basically you don't want to come back because down there's nothing to do. So, moreover, after a month or two, I met an Italian which was busking, playing these drums in Piccadilly Circus. My sister called me and said, "Oh, I found someone playing the drum that you do. Come and meet them." So I made my way to Piccadilly Circus and we met. So this guy was already here. He spoke good English, which lately I moved to live with him, to share the same house with him. And he was with him. He helped me to find my environment.
Helped you get around London
You know,
better.
he taught me. He helped me with the English. He helped me with he taught me how to cook because I never cooked before. You know, when you start to live by yourself, he taught me. He was a good friend. Really, I have it. It's in my heart. His name is Angelo. So, okay. After that, I met a group of African people, which they are professionals and they do traditional African drumming in London. So once we met, it's like, you know, for me
It's like you're going back in time, isn't it?
that's the best. I mean, what do you want more? I find a group, so, you know, I can learn, I can improve myself, we can play together, I have a job, forget back home, and that's it. And so that was it. Basically, I didn't go back. Now I'm living here in 7 years. You know.
So then tell us, what started happening in your life then now, and how did you come to find Islam? Because you know, you just come from your hometown. Now you've come to England. All the things that you were doing before, you continue doing it there. So how did your journey continue from there?
About Islam, I didn't have a clue about Islam.
Never heard of it before?
I didn't have a clue about what Islam is. All I knew is I knew Muslims. Back home we got quite a big community of Moroccans, which obviously you know that they fast. There's a month which they fast. You know that they got their traditional vest. You know what you can see, but they don't open up.
They don't tell you about their beliefs.
No one tells you. I had even Muslim Moroccan friends, a lot of them, but they all were not practicing, obviously, and you don't hear nothing about praying. You don't see them. You just hang around with them. They drink. They do everything. So for you, it's just a friend.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't give you anything of, because probably they feel shy. You know, they may think, oh, you will never understand Islam, so they don't bother even. That's how it is. When I came here, same thing. Lately, I was living in East London, and I rented a room. There was this Somalian lady that she rented me a room in her flat, and you know, in this house, a lot of these friends of her, and you know, they used to come and chill out in the living room, and they used to be there, and you know, sometimes talking, it may come out the argument, oh, you know, we are Muslim, you know, we say Bismillah before. Don't use the left, man, bro, use the right hand, what are you doing? This sort of stuff, you know, very funny stuff actually. But sometimes we go into the discussion, you know, the Quran, Islam is good, even they are not practicing, but still it's in their heart. You know, so they're trying with you, they tell you something about. At least they tried. You see, the Muslim that they don't practice is the one who actually ended up giving me a bit of dawah.
SubhanAllah.
And as I noticed it. Until I had this Quran in my mind since back home. You know, it's a holy book, but you don't really know much. What does he say, or you haven't got a clue. And you know, when you debate with people, I always repute myself as a clever person. I'm not stupid. So I always say to them, look, when I read it, I'll tell you. You know, for you it's useless. You don't want to tell me this and that. I don't listen to you. I listen to myself. When I read it, then I will judge myself if what's in this book was so amazing of this book. You know. Notice that before that, anyway, when you live by yourself, you know, my life is start to be, because without Islam, obviously, we know that there is no happiness. Therefore, I was going into a routine of smoking and partying and playing the music, which was the only thing that made me feel a bit better. But you know, the fact that you are alone, you don't have a wife, you don't have a family, your life is quite empty. Therefore, I started to question, like, what's all about? I mean, what am I doing here? It's all about eating, having fun, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, eat. I mean, it can't be like that, because you start to witness things. You know, you witness how amazing is this world and how things happen. And I used to believe even before that nothing moves or happens by chance.
SubhanAllah.
You know, I believe in the destiny, in the predestination even before, because obviously, observing around you and seeing things, you come to a logical point that there's something that rules everything. But I didn't know what. For there must be an entity or something. But that was my thought. But I never knew about religion and stuff like that. I come from the side of religions are man-made, etc.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, you don't know much about it. It's just your ego that makes up things and feel comfortable with it. That's it. Until one day coming from work, I was in East London and I went, something clicked my mind. I said, you know what, let me go and buy this book, man. I always tell myself I will do this and that. I never do nothing. Let me just go and get this book. it came in my mind. So I went to Islamic bookshop, I got a copy of Quran in English, and I went home. And I opened the book, I read, basically was Fatiha, the first chapter. I just read the translation, and I said, well, this is more or less like a Bible. And then, you know, I just put it back on the shelf. And then a few weeks passed. Then I said to myself, oh man, I bought the book, and I didn't even start reading it. I need to step up, do something, you know, let's try and read it. I always say myself, read, and then I never do it. So I started it. When I really was committed and I started it, there was the beginning, there was the opening. So I started from the first chapters. It didn't take long really. And the impact that this book had to me is like my creator is talking to me straight. And every verse, every chapter that I was reading, it was overwhelming. I couldn't stop. I need to go. I need to read the next one. Oh, this one was amazing. What about the next one? And then reading the next one, it was amazing. The level of you know, the way the Allah speaks through the Quran to the human being is something amazing. Even if it's not the real language, it's not Arabic, even through the translation, you can still feel it.
So what point did it make you feel like you wanted to take your Shahada?
To the point when even I wasn't able to catch the meanings fully, because it is a very high English, you know. So I had to find the Italian. I download the PDF from Italian translation. Till the point that after a month, so very short time, you know, reading this book, I was really and asking some of the people next to my area told me more about Islam. They explained me something about who was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what about his life, the seerah. I start to learn other stuff as well. So I knew how this book came about and everything. I really had a shock, you know. I was upset. No one told me this before. I really start to have the strong yaqeen, a strong certainty in the truthfulness of this book, up to the point which I had to face my own ego and say to myself, look, now I know this message. If I don't follow it, I'm just a hypocrite. I'm just fooling myself. Basically, if from now on I'm gonna ignore this that came to me now, I feel like I'm not consistent. I'm not, you know. Therefore, that's when I was decided. Say, I don't matter. I reach a point when I ponder, and then I say, you know what? I don't care what people say. I don't care what am I gonna do. Do I have to pray? Let's pray. Do I have to fast? Let's fast. That's not important. The important is the reality that this is what we human beings we meant to be. We meant to follow this message. Yeah. It's not about the action. It's about the end of this life. You know, I'm not worried about the action, about this life. Therefore, that's when Shaitan that time tried to delay my Shahada, because I wanted to take Shahada. But then those people saying to me, oh, you know, why don't you wait for a Friday? You take a nice shower, you know, you go into the mosque. I said to myself, yeah, well, it passed 1 week, 2 weeks, and then it didn't happen until it was a Thursday night. I came out of the Stratford station, and there was a dawah table. So a few guys that they were doing dawah table, and I stopped talking to them, like, hi guys, you know, I'm looking into Islam, you know, I really believe that, you know, you are my brothers. I was very excited, you know, and then they said to me, oh, so you didn't take the Shahada? I said, well, not yet, I was going to plan it. I said, bro, what are you waiting for? You may cross the road, car hit you, and, you know, and you end up your life in a bad way. I said, you know, it made me think really with this sentence, you're right, let's do it now.
And then you took your Shahada?
Yeah, in Stratford station, outside the station. And that was the best thing, I mean, one of the best feelings of my life, because there have been other very good feelings.
So bro, after you taking your Shahada in Stratford, tell us, how has Islam impacted your life?
Okay, from the very beginning, the first bus was the first time I prayed Fajr in the mosque. It was like I won the lottery.
Wow.
I came out the mosque, I couldn't explain why I feel so happy. I went to work, therefore I'm crazy. Or maybe I found a girlfriend or something. I said, what's going on? You know, that was the beginning, the prayer. The prayer is what change you, actually helps you to get rid of your habits. I stopped smoking, I stopped basically pretty much every sinful thing. And the same time I lost my job because they didn't allow me for prayer. So I had, alhamdulillah, I had more time to learn the basics, to learn the principle of the belief, the aqidah, learn about basics of fiqh, how to do my worship. And that was the best times, because you meet a lot of you feel the brotherhood, you have the best feelings. You feel, once you pray, you feel happiness. You know, when you have the contact with Allah, you feel the happiness which you don't reach with any of the worldly things.
Yeah.
No money, no nothing. There's nothing that gives you that. That's the best thing that they had. After 6 months, I married, and I'm happily married about 3 years now. We have 1 daughter, and that's another thing that I never planned to do in my life before. And it's all about, it's really positive, and this is a journey which you don't just keep your prayers and then you're still doing the sin, and then you're still wasting your time, or you're looking at women. You have to try to improve until you get closer to God. Basically, that's the journey that I'm going through, and so far it's the best thing that happened to me, and I'm very thankful.
Alhamdulillah.
And I hope that anyone who is looking into Islam, what's my advice is, don't look at the Muslims, because obviously no one is perfect. Don't look at the media, because they're talking a lot of rubbish. It's clearly there's a propaganda against Islam for political reasons. And just ask in your heart to your Lord to guide you to the truth, and you'll be guided. If you are sincere to yourself, Allah will guide you. If you looking into a thing to find its mistake and to find something, is because you're trying to please your own ego. Basically, you will never find the truth. Therefore, that's my advice.
Jazakallah khairan, and thank you for sharing your story with us.